Mbana here on Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman with Juan Gonzalez. Our exclusive this hour, our broadcast exclusive, is an interview today with Emily Henochowicz, 21-year-old art student here in New York at the prestigious Cooper Union. She lost her eye in May after being shot in the face by an Israeli tear gas canister. Emily, before we go to that moment, your grandfather was a border guard?
Yeah, I don't know very much more about that, but I do know that he was a border policeman when he was in Israel.
So talk about May 31st, 2010. Where were you?
I had stayed at the ISM apartment in Ramallah. And
that's the International Solidarity
Movement.
The
International Solidarity Movement. And I got a call that morning. And, of course, the numbers were completely inflated that morning. 21 people were killed on the flotilla or whatever. But basically, there was going to be a demonstration starting in Ramallah, and we're all going to hold all these flags from all the different countries that people had represented from the flotilla. And so I went out to that demonstration.
And this was the Gaza aid flotilla of ships that were coming to bring humanitarian aid to Gaza.
Yeah. And, well, the PA kind of closed the demonstration down from Ramallah, but we continued it at the Kalandia checkpoint, which is between Jerusalem and Ramallah. So, and from there, I guess I had this notion that because we were protesting deaths, that somehow that tear gas wouldn't be used in that kind of manner. I thought maybe it would be more of a, I don't know, quote-unquote Israel proper kind of demonstration where they don't use the same kind of violence against demonstrators, but I was mistaken.
Give us a sense of what would actually happen in terms of how many people were there at the protest. What was it, largely of Israelis or ISM folks, or was it Palestinians? And then what transpired? In other words, from the beginning of the protest to the time that they began firing the tear gas canisters.
Well, of course, it was a Palestinian organized demonstration. There were mostly Palestinians there. There wasn't that large of a group when I was there because it had we had packed up and moved from before where there were more people, and there were a few Israeli peace activists, and I was there with a friend from ISM, and I think there were two other people I had just met who had just joined ISM who were also there that morning. And what was it that you wanted to? And
then what happened just before, in the period before the Israeli soldiers began firing their tear gas canisters?
Well, Jonathan Pollock climbed up on this fence and put a Palestinian and Turkish flag up at the checkpoint.
And he is another ISM?
No, he's an Israeli peace activist.
Oh, the Israeli.
And after they had put the flags up, the border policemen came and they took the flags down. And at one point, a few Palestinian boys by the wall started throwing just trash from the ground. And at that point, the border policemen started firing tear gas.
And where were you?
I was this kind of area where there were a few barricades. It's hard. I don't know. Hard to say without a map, but here's the wall right here. Here's Kalandia checkpoint. I'm somewhere over here.
You're standing in a group of people, and you saw them starting to fire?
I didn't see them firing. I saw it starting to land, and so I was trying to find out where it was coming from so that I could get away from it. But it must have been very close because felt like there was no time between it landing, between seeing it and landing for you to actually find out where it was coming from.
I think one of the articles that was written afterwards quoted you as saying to a friend, "I didn't expect to have this kind of trouble at this. Maybe I should move away from here," or something like that.
Well, you know, I noticed that it was starting to get dangerous. And I had just, you know, started talking to my parents, and really, they were just saying, you know, Emily, just please don't do anything dangerous. And there I am, and I'm like, this is getting dangerous. I told my parents I wouldn't do this. Oh, my gosh. So it was one of those kinds of moments. So a little kind of crunch, and that was it. So.
What do you mean, a kind of crunch?
I don't know. It's just sort of a bizarre sensation when it hit me in the face. Did
you understand what had happened?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't lose consciousness.
What happened then?
Well, at that point, I was, I think this is who had done this. This woman, Narima Tamimi, I think that's her name, and she came and ran into the gas and the firing and grabbed me before I could reach the ground. And she she has this little magical backpack with all these medical supplies, and she put gauze on my face, and she got all these other people there around me, and they brought me on a truck, and they rushed me into the Ramallah hospital, and you know, from there, I guess, yeah. There's history.
So you were brought first into a Palestinian hospital?
Right. In Ramallah, yes.
And then?
And then I was transferred to Hadassah Hospital. I went on an ambulance, and then, of course, I had to go on another ambulance because we had to go through the checkpoint.
What do you mean?
Well, because a Palestinian ambulance can't pass through the border because Palestinians from the West Bank aren't allowed into Israel. So they took me out of that ambulance, put me in another ambulance, and then continued the journey to Hadassah.
And the treatment that once you got to the Hadassah hospital, did any Israeli officials